Get ready to master your life and achieve your dreams with Lifestyle Mastery, the show that will transform the way you think about personal development, business, and entrepreneurship, and explores the fascinating world of self-improvement with the guidance of the renowned expert, Dr. Sheila Smith. From mastering your mindset to building a successful business, Dr. Smith and her guests will inspire, educate, and empower you to live your best life.
Welcome to Lifestyle Mastery, where it is our job, our purpose, and our goal to help you to reach your purpose and your destiny. Today, we have such a spectacular guest that I am privileged to have on. And you know, normally I don't go through a long bio, but today I have to. I am your host, Dr. Sheila Smith. And again, get ready, get your pens and your paper. You are going to want to take copious notes because you are going to learn honestly, so much in this short amount of time. I'm so excited. I can barely contain it. So, Dr. Sherrie Walton, Her Excellency, Dr. Sherrie Walton. Now, bear with me while I read this, but I need to get all the way to the bottom of this because I know and I'm confident that you are going to need something that is going to be said. So, without further ado, Dr. Sherrie Walton, Her Excellency, is a United Nations Ambassador at Large, guest lecturer, keynote speaker, best-selling author, global entrepreneur, university lecturer, and publisher. She is the owner of Sherrie Walton Consulting, Walton Publishing House, and Becoming Her Global. She travels around the world, empowering, connecting, and restoring the lives of women with her message of restoration. Her mission is to impact the lives of over 1 million women. 1 million women with her message of restoration. Her mission is to impact, let's go back. Her empowering words of wisdom brings her audiences to a standing ovation as she encourages them to live their best fearless life right now. Dr. Sherrie has overcome many of life's adversities and is building a platform for other women to pursue their dreams, no matter what their past is. She is an advocate for women building other strong women and believes that with God, life truly has no limits. Dr. Sherrie entered the world of entrepreneurship over 18 years ago after climbing the corporate ladder to becoming the youngest insurance broker attained in only 3 years at a Fortune 500 company. She left corporate America to become a full-time entrepreneur. In 2005, she co-founded Virtuous Creations luxury event company and went on to service celebrity clientele, earning her first feature in Style Me Pretty Florida and Essence online magazines and partnership with Bloomingdale's. She is a certified purpose life coach. Dr. Sherrie also creates a platform where women speaker, business owner, and everyday people live to fulfill their life's purpose. Dr. Sherrie is the founder of Becoming Her Global, the Power Moms Movement and book series, and the creator of Mommy and Me Dream Bigger Tour, an international multi-city 2-day experience that teaches mom and kids how to overcome their fears, pursue their dreams, and to reshape their lives. Dr. Walton has received congressional recognition for her contributions to the city of Houston. She has also received recognition from the mayor of Houston, honoring women making a difference. Houston's 40 under 40 Next Generation of Leaders Award, and has been recognized as an emerging business for the Miami Super Bowl. She has received the proclamation from the city of Waco, Texas for Power Moms. Dr. Sherrie has been seen on Fox News, ABC, Morning Barbados, TNT News, featured in CEO and various other media outlets. She and her husband can be heard weekly on 104.1 The Beat in Barbados. Her global platform reaches clients in over 15 countries, including Barbados, China, Dubai, Africa, and the United States. She is a global partner with Women Empowered Global Coaching Women in Sri Lanka. She is a licensed minister and partners with her husband. She is a marriage coach and has been married to Dr. Christopher Walton for over 20 years. Together, they have 3 beautiful school-aged children, Christopher II, Kai Milan, and Winter. And I am so proud and so excited to bring to the stage, to Lifestyle Mastery, Her Excellency, Dr. Sherrie Walton. Come on up, ma'am. I thank you so much for being here. It is a blessing to have you. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. Thank you for this amazing platform.
You know, there's so many reasons why I wanted you here, especially today during Mental Health Awareness Month. I want you to encourage the women, but not only on the life side of things, but in business, because you're so powerful in the business arena. For you, audience, this is my book publisher. This is my Amazon best-selling book publisher. And I wanted you to talk to the audience because there's so many people out there that has always wanted to do a book, has always had a passion like I have for so many years. And not only did you help me unlock the things that I've had inside, but while I was dealing with cancer, COVID, and chemo, you took the time to walk me through that process. So the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, I have to tell you, you are more than a survivor. You are an overcomer. And I was just so excited and honored, to be chosen to go on that journey with you. Writing a book is a very sensitive thing. And I believe because it is so sensitive, so many people start the process and don't finish the process. Or, they have the idea, but they don't know how to get started, right? And the reason that writing a book is so sensitive is because it requires you to go back through your life, through your stories, through the areas that you wanted to close, the areas that you wanted to forget, the places that even may still need some healing, right? That when you write a book, you are literally going back to that place. And I believe that's the reason why so many people have the idea of writing the book, but they can never do it because it's so painful, right? So having the right midwife, I like to say that I'm a midwife. I like to say I'm a midwife for purpose. Having the right midwife in the delivery room with you that understands and is sensitive to your story and your pain, right? That is so important. And it's the reason why I started helping women write their books and tell their stories, because a lot of them wanted to launch into business. The thing about business is you got to know who you are. You got to know who you're talking to. You got to know, you have to be clear about your audience. So just launching into business, sometimes you may not know how to start, right? But when you write that book, when you put the story together, you start to see your gifts. You start to understand your story. You start to understand your process. And what I like about being in business is your story allows you to help someone else. And you're literally able to monetize your ability to overcome. You're able to monetize your ability to find, I would say, that silver lining in your story, right? So that's why I have been on the mission to help over 1 million women, because there are women that have the voice, but they don't use it. They've allowed the circumstances of life to quiet them, right? They've allowed the naysayers to tell them that they're not worthy. And not only the outside voices, they have a lot of inside voices. They're speaking to themselves, and they're talking themselves out of the dream. They're talking themselves out of the vision. And it is my desire to help women understand the value of who they are. So that is why I do what I do. That's why I'm on a mission to not only just empower, because it's one thing to empower people. It's a different thing to give them the tools. Right? Because you can be excited by my words, but being able to clearly understand the principles and the practices that you need is so very important. And again, that's why I do what I do. And I probably what distinguishes me from a lot of people, like, you know, to me, is not about how much you pay me, right? I'm not in this for the money. And I can honestly say that. I'm in this to bring impact, because I understand that, you know, Jim Rose said that when you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. Right. So I understand the importance of sowing into others, because even then that allows me to create so many different seeds, and allows me to just allow my seeds to grow. So when people tell me, and I talk about that mission to reach 1 million people around the world, how will you do that? Well, I may not physically touch 1 million people, but I will help so many women birth their books, their business, their dreams, that by multiplication, right? By compound effects, I'll be able to reach over 1 million people.
Wow. That right there, oh my goodness. That piece right there, they should clip that. That what you just said was outstanding, because you hit so many nails on the head. I didn't want to relive my life. I didn't want to go back there. There were some places that I wasn't quite healed in the corner, way down deep underneath a whole lot of other things that I thought I was healed from. And I had to not only deal with the physical fight of the illness at the time I was dealing with, but then I had some unresolved issues that I didn't even know was unresolved. And you took the time to walk me through that journey. And that was one of the hardest things I ever had to deal with and go through. But you helped me to the other side. And I'm sure that people, that's the seeds that you were just talking about, those seeds that were sown, because I know that people will be able to gain a lot of wisdom from my tales, my cautionary tales of my life that was written in that book. So what got you on the journey to wanting to help people write their story?
So it's very interesting. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a purpose midwife. And the women that I'm generally called to are really professional women that are leaders, right? Women that not only lead organizations, but they're just responsible for territories and, you know, countries and things of that nature. And I realized that a lot of those professional women were in a place of just living their life based on the great paycheck that came along with it, but they weren't really living their purpose. Now, the challenge with that is when you talk to someone that's a high figure six-figure earner or a 7-figure earner, she will never open up to me and tell me that she does not know her purpose, right? Because she's very guarded. She knows her business, she knows her work. But writing that book allowed me to hear her heart. It allowed me to hear the pain points. It allowed me to hear the triggers. So then I was able to take her on that journey of fulfilling her purpose. So writing books became an entry to helping women that weren't living their purpose, but that had influence to start to live their purpose. And it's so interesting because I have a client of mine, and she was, I believe, a city manager when we met. And I talked to her about writing her book, and she's like, what would I write about? You know, and I just started interviewing her, and I said, leadership. She's now on her second book with me. She's left her job. She's now traveling around the world, speaking on stages in China and Dubai. And that was just since we've known each other in the last 3 years. Now, when I met her, she was a city manager. So to her, her life was together. But after we started going on the journey together, she started to realize that there were some areas in her life she was not fulfilling purpose. And it changed the trajectory of her life. So I'm always excited because these are the women that won't let you in.
That's right.
They have up these walls, but when I work with them, I'm able to then see, hear, and then help guide them, and they trust me in the process. So helping writing books was not my first way. Coaching in purpose was where I wanted to begin, but my strategy to get in the door became books.
Oh, I love that. I love that because a lot of people, like you said, I was guarded at first, but when I heard, and I told you this, when I heard your voice, I have been looking for someone for many years. I would begin to do it, then I would stop. Then I would begin to do it, and I would stop and say, I don't want to tell anybody this. I don't want people to hear all the ugly details of this. How do you get a high figure earner or even any woman to be able to open up and relive the hardest parts of their life?
So this is the difference of when you're walking in your gift versus a skill. And I would tell every entrepreneur, every business owner, make sure you do something that you're gifted at because it comes naturally. So I can't even tell you why they open up to me or why you're attracted to my voice. All I know is I'm operating in my purpose. And as I'm operating in my purpose, I will attract the people that need what I have. And I believe so. Going on that journey, I also create a very safe space. They confide in me. I'm a counselor as well. I'm a coach. So I'm used to hearing people, their personal parts of their stories and creating that confidentiality. Now, and one thing you can attest to working with me, I only tell you to talk about what you feel comfortable talking about. Now, you may give me the entire story. There's so many parts of my clients' stories that never make it into books. The reason why is I realize that that's still a sore area in their life. That's still a trigger in their life. So I would never, as a purpose midwife, as a book coach, I would never allow my client to tell a part of their story that has not been closed, that is not a closed chapter. And I believe, and I say this all the time to my clients, this is not a tell-all book, right? I need to understand why you're writing the book. Because then that determines what we're putting in the book. And some of the stories that you've been through may not be necessary for this part of the journey. That may be book 2 or book 3, right? So I'm very discreet with my clients. I'm very confidential with my clients, and they've learned to trust me in the process. The first part of that journey is you like interviewing me just like I'm interviewing you. Like, tell me your story, right? So then that allows me to then help you scope and say, these are the things I feel are necessary. So when I met you, of course, you were going through your health challenges at the time. What I loved about you is that you kept showing up no matter what. Like, I didn't care if you were at chemo, if you had to go in for outpatient surgery, you showed up. And what we discovered in your journey is not only were you going through your second level of healing and going through that process, there were parts of your story that we knew was necessary to even help you through that last bit of healing. Like I believe that a lot of times when we close these certain doors in our lives and we allow things to be buried, right? We allow things to heal. We allow ourselves to release the attachment and the emotions to things. It allows us to create a beautiful story. So helping women through that, creating this safe space. I always talk about creating a safe space with me. Whatever is like Vegas. What happened in Vegas stays in Vegas. Whatever happens when you're writing your book with me stays with me. And so they've learned to trust the process with me.
I can attest to that. I know I'm going to veer off for a second. When I said Her Excellency, a lot of people do not understand what that means. You are a global entrepreneur. And can you talk about what that means?
So the funny thing is when you start to work walking your purpose, the titles start to come along with it.
Yes.
So I didn't start off as Her Excellency. I started off as Sherrie. You know, I just a girl on a mission. But having the title, working with the UN and the different organizations that I'm a part of, it allows me to get in the room with leaders, with global leaders. And it's not something that I take lightly because I understand that it is, again, a part of my gift. It's a part of my call in life. The funny thing is that before I had that title, I've always been attracted where I've been called to do celebrity events and high power events. So before I had the title, I believe the title just came along with the work that I was already doing. It allows me to get into rooms. It allows me to create relationships because my full mission on life is to bring financial empowerment to nations. So in order to do that, having my title of Her Excellency allows me to now work with organizations to create programs, to go into new territories, to do different teachings and workshops, to really help women and children is where my heart is. But of course, my husband and I, we teach family legacy, but working with children and women and working with the different countries, like, you know, currently I'm in Barbados right now. And I know you and I are doing some work together, you know, and as we're doing that, we're creating opportunities for people all over the world who would not normally have opportunities to advance themselves financially. So Her Excellency is a part of my UN title that I'm able to now just work on programs and things like that, where ordinarily they wouldn't necessarily just open the door for anyone, but now it gives me a bit more of, I guess, status, if you would say that, you know, to be able to get into the door, to be able to help more people.
That's amazing, because I know when I told certain people I'm going to have you on, I had so many people that said to me, what does that mean? So I know if 3 people said that to me, I know a broader amount of people were curious about that.
Yes.
Other things that you do, I know that we're working on some other things, and I didn't even know about the different courses and different things that you had the ability to be able to do. And can you talk a little bit about, you see, I'm pulling everything. I'm trying to bring everything out of you because I want these people to know everything that you are able to do in one package. You are like one package full of knowledge and information. And so I want them to know I'm not just saying, go and use her. I'm using her myself. So I know that it is powerful and it is worthwhile. So can you tell the audience about that side of what you do?
Absolutely. So my main program is helping women understand their purpose and then transforming that into a book or a product that they can sell. So I teach courses as well as I do one-on-one coaching, which allows me to dig deep, like we talked about earlier, understand their story, understand their why, understand their gifts. And then I'm able to now help them hone that in an area so that I know, based on my experience in business, what is working right now. Now, I just want to say as a side note, one of the beautiful things of being in businesses for so long is I have been blessed to be able to be ahead of the trends. Right. So I know there's a lot of noise in the marketplace right now. People don't know who to trust. People don't know, who's really legit. Right. But because of my understanding of the marketplace, because of my understanding in business, I'm able to literally get in certain territories that people are not in yet. Again, just even using my example with Barbados. Right. So before things change and shift, I'm always able to evaluate what's going on and make the pivot. So that's the beauty of working with someone like me, with not just someone in business, but someone that is ahead of it, and that Her Excellency comes along with that too. It allows me to be in certain rooms, right, to hear what's going on and see how things are happening with the economy. So purpose is one thing, purpose, helping them understand their purpose. The other is writing their books. So I do coach women on writing, and I say women. There are a few men that I help as well, but my primary audience is women. So helping them write their books, and then all the way through the publishing side of things. So not only do we write the book, I help you get your book published, get your book available and wherever books are sold, help you come up with a marketing game plan. Again, I personally believe that books are a gateway to open up your speaking, your business, and just really honestly giving you the confidence that your voice is valuable, which is so important in business. I wanted to, you said something earlier that I kind of just put a little pause to mention back. Most women, we need to understand that business first starts from within. So if you don't understand who you are, if you're not confident in your voice, if you battle with self-esteem issues, if you're still self-sabotaging, if you're not clear about who you are, it'll be very difficult for you to be successful in business. And I think, a lot of people talk about entrepreneurship, and it's a buzzword, especially since the pandemic, everyone's talking about, making that big leap. But what people have to understand is you first have to become first. You have to become, because when you become, you're able to attract others that need what you have. And then you won't get caught in this cycle of hustle. Right. A lot of things that's going on right now is that hustle mentality. That's not business, right? That is hustle. And if once you turn one hustle, you have to turn two hustles. The way that we do business, we do it where it's more of a magnet, where business is magnetized to you. So just like you mentioned earlier, it was something when you heard my voice. I was in a partnership working, doing a video on YouTube and not even talking much about what I did. I believe that video went in a few different directions, but it was something about me that you said, I need to work with her. This is what I teach other women, the understanding the value of who they are so that people are running you down. You don't have to run business down. When you are clear, when you are succinct in what you do, when you understand your purpose, money runs you down. Opportunities run you down. People run you down. Favor runs you down. Resources run you down. So I really want people to really understand that, because we're so caught in this world system of running after the next. If you truly become, the next will run after you. My story of being here in Barbados literally was for a 3.5-week vacation that has turned into multiple. This is going on our 3rd year, multiple business opportunities, being in a new territory, literally starting over with 3 homeschool children and my husband, but creating my 2nd year for my tour, global opportunities, global partnerships, more countries opening up. And people will say, how do you do that? How do these opportunities find you? I understand who I am. I'm clear about my mission. I understand my purpose. So as I continue to walk in that, the opportunities are literally knocking at my door. So I know that's kind of a side sweep to what we were talking about, but I thought it was very important that I say that, because a lot of people are in business and they're saying, what do I do? I said, you first become solid about who you are. Understand who you serve. Those areas that we talk about when we're writing your book and closing those doors, you need to do that before you step into business, because you cannot step into business with dealing with shame, guilt, regret, fear, all of these things, that unforgiveness, these things keep you from being successful in business. So it's very important that people understand that the inner work is so important. And until the inner work has been done, you won't have any outward results. So what else do I do? So let me jump a little bit.
Go on, jump. It is Lifestyle Mastery. She is showing you how to do it. Carry on, ma'am.
So one of the joys that I have is helping people rewrite their story. And when I say that is my and just in a nutshell, my family and I lost everything twice. We lived in a hotel. We had children. They were 1, 3, and 5 years old at the time. And the most embarrassing thing is that I had to register my children as homeless. And that was something that I never in a million years thought I would have to experience that. But the journey, right? The becoming, to the not allowing my circumstances to shift me from understanding what the end goal, what the vision is, that did not change. And while I was living in a hotel is when I produced my first conference and event. Right, as I was living in a hotel and going to McDonald's to use their Wi-Fi is how I wrote my first book. So I really teach people, to women especially, the value of resilience, the value of understanding that wherever you are right now, if it's not a situation that you feel is comfortable, it's only temporary. You need to understand when you pass the test of life, you'll elevate to that next level. Life is just like school. When you pass the test, you go to the next grade. Now, you can decide if you're going to flunk by not taking that test properly. Those things that make you flunk, your attitude, complaining all the time. And one thing, and I have to keep going back to our time working together, I never heard you complain. You were going through hell. You showed up. You never complained about the situation. And that's why I believe that you were able to make it through the other side of your healing. A lot of people get stuck. They get stuck saying, why me? Then my question is, why not you? Hey. And what were you supposed to be learning in the process? Who are you supposed to be becoming so that you can help others become who they're supposed to be? So one of my skills, my gifts, my talents is helping people go and dig through the layers, understanding clarity of who they are, and then tapping into that resilience. I teach you how to take that and turn it into being a speaker. You know, I believe that there's different type of, there's so many opportunities out there, and you want to find out how to stand out in the marketplace, how to find your voice. So I train people on how to find their voice, how to have stage presence, how to connect with people, how to tell their story in a way that people want to listen, how to get, different media opportunities like I've been able to get. What else do I do? So then I also teach, I have something called Kids Biz in a Box, where I teach moms and kids about entrepreneurship. My children have businesses. My 12-year-old in particular has had a cupcake business for the last 6 years, and now even living here in Barbados, she's now relaunched it here. So I believe in just really helping children understand their purpose and the value of who they are. So I think that's a lot. I told you a lot. I know the rest you probably read on the bio, but that's some of the things that I do.
I put up your website, and I want to tell people they need to go and check out what it is, all that encompasses the her excellency, Dr. Sherrie Walton. I'm not letting you go just that fast. And you said a lot of it when you were speaking, but for that person that is still working the 9 to 5, what is your opinion on how can they break into or go to the other side, becoming an entrepreneur? You're having your regular job like you had children, possibly a husband, possibly even still in school. How can that person take that leap, and what is the mindset that they would need to do it?
That's a pretty loaded question. And I think I want to say, first off, you need to make sure that you've been called to be a full-time entrepreneur. There are different types of entrepreneurs. Every person is not supposed to leave their 9 to 5 job, right? So you need to make sure. Now, you should have multiple streams of income. Yes. But possibly your 9 to 5 may be the quote unquote investor that you have that allows you to create that cushion so that you can still have multiple streams to create investments and things like that. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there. As far as entrepreneurship and what you would need to do, there is a totally different mindset that is required to be an entrepreneur. It takes a lot of gut. It takes a lot of gusto. You have to be willing to take risk. You have to not be moved by what the bank account says. You cannot be moved by the no's, the rejections. Like, you literally have to understand that nothing that happens to you should be taken personally. I think that was one of the best things that I learned in entrepreneurship. It's not personal. If they decide to not work with me, it's not personal. If things don't work out the way that I want it to work out, it's not personal. Learn to understand that this is life and things happen. I believe a lot of entrepreneurs have a false sense of what entrepreneurship really is. It takes time to build it. It takes time to build a network. It takes time to build community. It takes time to build a likability factor that people want to work with you. It takes time to build that. So don't rush the process. If you are just starting, I say do your research. Find out what's happening in the marketplace, and then create something that people need based on who you are, not based on what everyone else is doing. One of the things right now in the marketplace is there are so many cookie cutter people in the marketplace. Like, people are starting to sound alike. Their bodies are even starting to look alike. Their hairstyles are all alike. They're saying the same thing. What are you going to do to make yourself different that stands out from the rest? For me, even moving to a new territory twice. I moved from Miami to Houston, got into a new market 9 years ago. Now, 3 years ago, moving here to Barbados, I'm constantly finding ways to recreate myself. And entrepreneurship is that. You cannot get stuck in the way you've been doing things, because at a flip of a dime, things can switch on you, and you have to be flexible. So one of the major things that I tell people, in addition to being flexible, is understanding the value of who you are. I see this a lot in the marketplace, especially for new entrepreneurs. Yes. They will undervalue themselves because they don't understand that the experience that they have, even from their 9 to 5, is still experience that you can use as an entrepreneur. So a lot of times when I'm working with first-time entrepreneurs and I tell them, send me your resume. Allow me to see what you've done. You have management, you have leadership, you have organizational skills. You have things that you can literally package and people will pay you to teach them. So understanding that the experiences that you have from the workplace, understanding that your gifts are so valuable that those can be monetized. Like, I think the biggest thing that I see is that women don't value who they are. They don't. They may say they do, but I think this makeup and everything that we wear kind of hides the truth that we don't understand our value. Because if we understood our value, we would not allow ourselves to be, an excuses word, to be pimped in the marketplace. You know, I recently had someone contact me that had worked with me in the past. And this particular person then came back to me 2 or 3 years later and wanted to pay less. So they wanted a deal. And I said to myself, no, I'm worth more. So I responded back to them and told them that I could not accept the negotiation of what they were trying to do in my particular package. They responded back and said, okay, thank you. We're not going to take it. My stance on who I was opened up another opportunity less than 1 week later. Now, I could have taken that opportunity, right, and devalued who I was, but another opportunity opened up so much greater and less amount of time needed for the project. And I believe that's because I said no. I said I won't settle for less than I'm worth. And I think we have to start doing that as women. Don't operate, especially in business, don't operate from a place of desperation. If you operate from a place of desperation, you'll always sell your birthright. You'll always get less than what you're worth. You'll always realize that, you know what? I'm never going to get what I know that I'm worth because you don't demand it. So put yourself in positions that allow you to operate in your gifts and then be compensated for the value of who you are.
I'm getting ready to get up and start running. Okay. I'm going to look in the camera because I need to say this again. Do not sell your birthright. I thought I was going to fall out of my chair for a bowl of soup. Okay, we're not going to even start. Okay. Don't sell your birthright. You know, and I had to start writing when you were talking because I didn't want to forget this. First of all, do you teach people that? Is there a course for that? Or do you have one-on-one training that can teach people that? Because people sell themselves short every day. They take pennies when they should be earning big bucks because of lack of self-esteem. You know, all of those things you mentioned earlier, scarcity mindset, self-sabotage, all of those things because they don't feel like they're good enough. How do you teach people not to undervalue themselves? How do you teach women that?
So I teach them that in the aspect of I ask them a lot of questions so that I'm very clear as to who they believe they are. Sometimes women are masking it, right? They may say that they feel that they're valuable, but the first thing that comes at them, they try to jump at. So I've learned how to create different, I guess, methods and things that I do to help them along the process, to help strengthen them. This is new. A lot of times with entrepreneurship, and I understand that you don't just walk out into entrepreneurship knowing everything that you need to know. This is years and years and years of experience. So the things that I've bottled up, I teach them through my lessons. I teach them through the certain principles that I apply. And then I teach them, more importantly, to get their mind right. Because it doesn't matter what I teach you, if your mind always takes you back. We talk about that thermostat, right? If that thermostat that is set for your life always takes you back to lack and scarcity and poverty, I first have to help you break that so that you are able to take and understand who you are. So I do teach that. That's at the foundational of understanding your purpose. To understand your purpose, you first have to understand who you are. And then I have you go and research some other people, right? I have you research in the marketplace of what people of your caliber, of your background are charging. And then when people realize that there are people getting 6-figure deals, they're like, oh, wow, I can do that. Yes, you absolutely can. So, and then it's another thing when we talk about value. Sometimes I see this with entrepreneurship. Let's say they have a course for, I don't know, $2,000 to $3,000. They will give away $20,000 worth of content because they're so happy that they got that $2,000. And of course, $2,000 is not a little bit of money. So I'm saying that's very good, but don't give everything away. So now you have nothing to level up to. You have to have clients where they keep coming back, keep offering more. Do not put everything in one basket. That's something that I teach clients as well. How you position yourself so that every time you turn around, people realize they need you and they keep coming back to work with you more.
I did. I did. I'm trying. I am such an open book. Sometimes it's scary, but I did because I realized, wait a minute. And it was not that you even tried to sell me on anything. It was that we were having a conversation and I said, oh, by the way, do you do that? And she says, I sure do. And I'm like, well, why not make it a one-stop shop? Why not, if I was happy in this, why not keep going and see where it leads? And, you know, I know that the people, there was so many nuggets, so many gems. So I can't wait to replay this so that I can take notes because this is so super powerful. I want you with the last 2 minutes to really talk about whatever it is, because I asked you so many questions. I want you to talk about whatever's on your heart so that you can say where you want people to go to, any information that you want to give out. Feel free.
So I want to scare you I want to scare you into understanding that tomorrow is not promised. So whatever you've been called to do it and start today and stop procrastinating and stop talking about it. Like, it's really time for you to step out into your purpose and to show up unapologetically. I want you to understand you're looking at someone that has been through so much. You're looking at someone that has lost everything multiple times. People turned their back on me. You're looking at someone, you may look at me like, oh my gosh, she seems so bold and fearless. There was a time where I just wanted to hide and I wanted no one to know my name. And I really even prayed to God and said, just leave me alone. I don't want to help anyone else, because it comes with so much persecution. It comes with so many things, and the loneliness and the things I went through. But I had to understand that because my call was so great, my journey had to be painful. I had to understand both sides of this so that I can help you when you're low and I can help you when you're high. I had to go through this so that now when I talk to you today, I'm able to talk from an area of boldness because I have seen how this plays out. I'm able to talk to you from experience. So I want you now, after you hear my voice, I want you to go evaluate where your life is right now. I want you to evaluate. Are you showing up the way that you know you're supposed to show up? Are you dumbing yourself down because you don't want people to turn their backs on you? Are you silencing your gift and your voice because you're afraid of what people are going to say? I want you to hear my voice today, and I want my voice to shaken and awaken you. I want my voice to rattle your purpose so that you get so uncomfortable that after you listen to this broadcast, you said, I am making a decision today. I'm going to show up. I may not have all of the pieces together, and that's perfectly fine. You don't need all the pieces. You just need the yes. You just need the commitment. You just need the decision. So after you hear my voice, I want you to make yourself a promise that another year, another day, another month will not go by without you fulfilling the gift of who you've been called to be. I want to shake you. I want you to remember this conversation that Dr. Sheila and I had. And I want you to say, if they can do it, if Dr. Sheila can come back from chemo and cancer, if she can do it, I can do it. If Dr. Sherrie can be on food stamps, government assistant, have to register her children as homeless, has to be on the Christmas wish list so that her children can get toys. If she can come back and now sit in the room with world leaders, surely I can walk in what I've been called to be. There is a purpose and an assignment that you must fulfill right now. And I want you to understand that if you don't show up, you will be replaced. Let me say that again. If you don't show up, you will be replaced. And one of the things, and I always use biblical principles for what I do, the parable of the talents. And if you don't have to be a Bible person to go back and research this, but just Google parable of the talents. And I want you to look and to see how the talents were handled, how the different people handled the talents that they have. I believe if you're listening to this, you've been given much. So much is required of you. It is time for you not to bury your talents, but to go out there and to multiply them. Today, this conversation, this message to you is telling you to go out there and dominate in your sphere of influence. Don't allow your life circumstances to silence you. Don't allow these things to silence you anymore. So my website is there. I don't have to say much about where you can find me, but I'm just honored and excited that we were able to have this session today.
I am honored to have you. I want to say thank you. Everyone, please go and flood that website because it is valuable. Woo! My, I feel like running, but I'm going to compose myself for a little longer and for about 10 more minutes. But Dr. Sherrie, thank you. God bless you for coming on. Thank you. And I know that the audience thanks you as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. I can say it another 50 times. If you weren't encouraged, you need to check your pulse. Just like that. You had to have been encouraged by this information. Play it back, play it over and over again, because this will change your life. This will change your life. So once again, she is Dr. Sherrie Walton, and I am Dr. Sheila Smith, and I look forward to the next episode. We'll see you then.
Thanks for joining us on Lifestyle Mastery with Dr. Sheila Smith. We hope that the insights, tips, and tools shared in this episode have inspired and empowered you to take control of your personal and professional life. Remember, personal development and entrepreneurship are a journey, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Keep applying the strategies and techniques you've learned, and never stop striving for your dreams. We'd love to hear from you. Please share your feedback and success stories on our website or social media platforms. And don't forget to subscribe to Lifestyle Mastery for even more expert insights and inspiration. Thanks again for being a part of our community. We look forward to continuing this journey of growth and success with you. And we'll see you again on our next episode.